Start here. The basement isn't a set, it's a bunker. The camera doesn't spin for fun. It spins like it's trying to shake authority off its shoulders. And the circle? It's a confession booth the sensors can't quite catch, like moral hide and seek. Across 15 beats, I'll show you how every familiar ritual becomes a quiet act of defiance, while parental authority clomps around upstairs. We'll track how newer material repeats the same tricks, proving the conflict never ended, just switched managers. If you've ever felt the tension but couldn't name it, this is the roadmap. Number 1. The basement as a counterculture haven. Why does the loudest show in Point Place happen in the quietest room? Because the basement is where rules go on lunch break. Down there, noise is code. Plans get drafted after curfew, records trade hands, and contraband sites openly under a poster like it pays rent. The furniture sags, the authority loosens. Red's house sets the rules, the basement suspends them. Who really runs the home when downstairs keeps rewriting the script? Early runs of that 70s show stage late-night plots. Secret dates and lightning-fast handoffs that never make it upstairs. Later continuations keep the ritual. Same couch, same lamp, as a way to preserve identity outside the parental spotlight. It mirrors 70s teen subcultures, carving private labs for politics, sex, and music. Call it what it is, a safe house. And once you divide the home into zones, the upstairs versus downstairs war snaps into focus. Number 2. Upstairs versus downstairs is the generation gap. Same house, two countries. Upstairs runs customs and border control. Downstairs issues its own passport with a crayon stamp. You can hear the diplomacy in the walls. A creak on the stairs, and every joke magically transforms into homework. A shout from the kitchen, and suddenly the Supreme Court has convened. The kids schedule risk like air traffic. They barter chores for cover, whisper date negotiations at half volume near the laundry, then drop to the basement to set the real agenda. Who's together, who's grounded, and where the party migrates after lights out. The set's geography does the talking. Authority sits higher, outlined by tidy rooms and straight lines. Youth lives below grade, off-center and slightly unhinged. Most sitcoms stack power vertically. This one just makes it literal. The staircase becomes a checkpoint. Now, what lets the downstairs state speak freely? The circle. Quick pause before we dive into the next hidden meaning. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We've got even deeper. That 70s show theories. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Number 3, the circle as a censorship workaround. Why do confessions land best when the camera spins? Because the circle says the quiet part out loud without actually saying anything. You hear the giggles, the drifting thoughts, the sudden moments of honesty that sneak out like they slipped past security. No props, no blunt admissions, but the vibe might as well be wearing a neon sign. Network standards in the late 90s and early 2000s cap what you can show. So the show builds a ritual. The smoke hint cutaway, the slow carousel of faces, the stretched out cadence. Each becomes a code for haze, truth, and whatever's too taboo for primetime. Its implication is language. A wink the censors can't tag, but viewers translate instantly. Number 4. The spinning camera as a symbol of rebellion. A stable sitcom locks the camera. This one spins. Why? Because movement yanks the frame out of authority's hands and drops it straight into the kids' laps. The room stays still. The gaze stages a tiny revolution. Authority loves straight lines and tidy eye lines, but the spin pulls a quick coup. The second the lens starts turning, the house rules wobble. You feel the shift from polite coverage to a slow whirl designed for risk. Watch when it kicks in. Rotations show up during taboo talk, covert planning, and honesty too spicy for a fixed shot. In film grammar, rotation breaks equilibrium and signals subjectivity. Your view literally rides the speaker's mood. Teen and counterculture films use the same trick to say one thing clearly. We're rebelling, but cinematically. Number 5. Hyde as the anti-establishment archetype. He reads the system like a scam and treats adulthood like a con you're a fool to buy into. Hyde's creed is simple: mock the rules, slip through the gaps, and never let an institution decide who you are. Red preaches rank and order. Hyde replies with irony and low-grade sabotage. You can feel the room tilt when he punctures a lecture with a deadpan jab, or turns a punishment into a side hustle. He distrusts school, bosses, and badges, and he trains Eric to read the fine print. Question the premise, poke the boundary, then laugh like that was the assignment. That stance fits the era's mood. Post-Watergate distrust, working-class exhaustion, and rock culture posing as a moral code. Hyde isn't comic relief. He's the thesis in Boots. Resist, joke, survive. But what happens when rebellion meets consumer desire? Enter Jackie. Number 6. Jackie as rising consumerism and insecurity. She wants labels, trophies, and every eye in the room. That's the marketplace speaking through a teenager with perfect lip gloss. Jackie treats status like survival gear. Clothes, cars, and hair become armor, and she measures safety by how brightly everything sparkles. Here's the twist. Her wants steer the hangouts. The group drifts toward anywhere with a logo on the wall and a chance to be admired by strangers who aren't paying attention. She trades romance like currency, grand gestures, public proof, and gifts that double as evidence she's valuable. When love syncs with lifestyle perks, she's calm. When it doesn't, the alarm bells go off instantly. Number 7. Fez as the ambiguous other. No country, no clear background, just a nickname that keeps him foreign forever. Fez walks in as a friend and instantly gets filed under mystery export. That gap is the joke and the pressure point. The laugh lands because he never fully belongs. His accent becomes a punchline generator. His customs get treated like encrypted messages. And every "where are you from" gag resets his citizenship to undefined. Even kind moments come packaged with exoticization. Admiration wrapped in labels instead of understanding. That ambiguity fits TV habits of the era. Sand off the edges, flatten identity, sell the bit. But here's the twist. The blur plays like satire on a town that couldn't find a map if you taped it to the fridge. Number 8. Eric as the identity-struggling everyman. Eric wants to be good, cool, and free, all at once. That triangle collapses immediately. He'll swear he's doing the right thing, then quietly choose the option with the least paperwork. It's caution wearing a leather jacket and calling itself rebellion. Red sets the standard. Hyde mocks it. Eric hovers in between, padding every decision with jokes like they're emotional bubble wrap. When friends pitch a risky stunt, he delays, cracks a quip, and waits to see which direction the peer pressure wind is blowing. His vows wobble under stress, and you can watch him recalibrate on the spot like a human weather vane. Number 9, Red as traditional American authority. He's not just a dad, he's policy, wages, war stories, and work boots in human form. Red speaks in rules, not vibes, and he expects the entire house to file paperwork before disagreeing. That creed, respect, labor, discipline, collides with teens wired for jokes, noise, and light rebellion. He ties worth to a punch clock, measures love by reliability, and answers chaos with consequences that land like anvils. Military habits shape his posture. Job stress sharpens his edge. The punishments are blunt because the world he trusts is blunt. Then, out of nowhere, you get the rare soft moment. A hand on the shoulder, a quiet allowance. And you can see the cost of keeping that line drawn so tight. Number 10, Kitty as the pressured 1970s. Housewife. The laugh, the casserole, the nervous smile. Kitty keeps the lights on while the whole grid threatens to short circuit. She sands down every sharp edge with a plate, a hug, a joke delivered soft enough to reboot the room without tripping a breaker. She mediates like it's salaried work. One voice barks, another snaps back, and Kitty absorbs the shock so dinner stays possible. You can see the emotional labor in the pep talks, the midnight check-ins, the way she edits her own wants to keep the peace intact. When she flirts with a career, the house yanks her back with guilt. Errands and logistics dressed as love. That mirrors the decade's push-pull on women. New roles advertised, old duties still unpaid. Number 11, money struggles. Reflecting the real 70s recession. Gas lines stay off screen. Budget jokes fill the room. The decade's wallet sets the tone, and you feel it in every half-baked plan. The kids chase fun with pockets full of lint, while Red counts dollars like they're ammunition. A date needs cash, a party needs snacks, a fine erases a week of existence. Every idea gets priced before it even gets a thumbs up. You see jobs grabbed and dropped, broken appliances mutating into full-blown arguments, and car repairs blocking freedom like mini-bosses. The Vista Cruiser is both trophy and financial sinkhole. Gas, parts, tickets, repeat. That mirrors stagflation, layoffs, and wage anxiety crushing the decade. When prospects shrink, teen rebellion spikes. Sneaking out becomes the budget-friendly mental health plan. Number 12. The imaginary Fez. Theory. What if Fez is Eric's coping mechanism, a friendly ghost of outsiderness? The idea clicks fast because it fixes a problem the show hints at constantly without ever naming out loud. Here's the twist. Fez's origin stays blank. His timing is suspiciously perfect, and his jokes always orbit otherness. He sparks mischief, fuels crushes, then vanishes the second consequences appear. That's classic fan theory logic. When a character's edges stay blurry, viewers fill in the meaning. Narrative economy backs it too. That 70s show uses Fez to amplify a moment rather than steer plot, like a funhouse mirror reflecting desire, envy, and shame. Number 13. The Eric in a coma. Theory. Here's the wild rid. Every surreal beat and mood swing comes from one mind stuck between memory and fantasy. If Eric's unconscious doubles as the writer's room, the tone suddenly stops being chaos and starts being psychology. Coincidences snap into dream logic. Exaggerated adults turn into mascots. Authority made louder, larger, and impossible to dodge. Cutaway gags feel like mental pop-ups. Scenes reboot like loops, and nostalgia replays until it smears at the edges. You get big set pieces, time that forgets to move, and emotions speaking louder than physics. Fans invent coma theories because pattern seeking fills the gaps. Sitcom logic bends anyway. The theory just reframes it as interior logic. Wish, fear, guilt, rerun. Number 14. The basement as a symbolic sanctuary. Down there, it acts like 3 rooms at once. Chapel, courtroom, and a planning bunker. You get vows whispered before firsts, verdicts after blowups, and blueprints for the next questionable decision. It's where a bad day gets confessed, forgiven, and turned into a strategy meeting. But Sanctuary cuts both ways. Safety keeps you sane. It also keeps you stuck. Growth means stepping past that door and risking whatever weather Red is brewing upstairs. The bunker protects feelings, but it can slow adulthood too. Every war needs a base. Pull back, and each character reads like a chapter of 1970s America. Number 15. Characters as cultural commentary on the 1970s. Treat the gang like a timeline. Authority, dissent, desire, displacement, and doubt. Each role maps to a 70s fault line you still feel humming under the floorboards today. Red stands as institutional memory. War, wages, and a rulebook he'd laminate if allowed. Hyde carries counterculture. Skepticism, sarcasm, and a spiritual vow to avoid compliance at all costs. Jackie sells the market dream. Status as safety, style as shield, receipts as emotional support. Fez embodies immigration anxiety. Welcomed in theory, sidelined in practice, admired mostly for confusion. Eric and Donna aim for liberal humanism. Fairness, consent, ideals, then fold like lawn chairs under pressure. Kitty runs the unpaid care economy, stability funded entirely by her time, nerves, and casseroles. You can trace the decade's bruises through them. Recession panic, shifting gender roles, suspicion of power, suburban drift, youth culture split between plastic shine and protest grit. The show isn't just a hangout, it's America in miniature arguing nightly. The pattern keeps echoing upstairs, downstairs, and far beyond Point Place.